Yeah, hello everyone. I'm He Zhiyu from the Information Retrieval Group at Tsinghua University, and the author of this work cannot come to the conference, so I'm here to give the policy report. And the paper is entitled Exploring the Trade-off Within Visual Information for Multimodal Sentence Summarization. First, let me introduce what multimodal sentence summarization is. As we all know, textual summarization generates a brief summary based on a sentence, which is a fundamental task in natural language processing. As an extension of textual summarization, multimodal summarization incorporates multiple modalities such as images, video, and audio, leading to a wider range of applications. As the foundation of multimodal summarization, WMSS generates a brief summary based on the given sentence and image. The figure shows the difference between textual summarization and multimodal summarization. Previous studies on WMSS select the text-relevant visual information or filter out the text-irrelevant visual information. These methods have the issue of over-preservation and over-compression, since they are merely designed from a single perspective. Over-preservation happens when we keep too many unnecessary details. For instance, on the left picture, if we mention that the bus is overturned, we might end up repeating overturn in the summary. And over-compression can occur when important visual elements squashed together and lose important information. For example, in the right picture, details like the male player and hockey stick might blend into the background, leaving out key points. So to tackle the above issues, we propose a novel method, T3. It adopts information bottleneck to balance the trade-off between text-relevant and text-irrelevant visual information. IB aims to compress input variable x while retaining as much information as possible about the output variable y. In our case, we apply IB to compress input image while preserving enough information about the target summary. The Venn diagram diagram shows the differences between selection-based method, filter-based method, and our method. Here is the workflow of the proposed method, and next I will introduce each module in detail. Source sentence encoding transforms the discrete token into continuous representations. For this, we use BOT encoder because of its strong performance in text generation. For source image encoding, we start by flattening the 2D image into patches. Next, we add positional information to preserve the structural relationship between patches. Finally, we feed the image embedding into vision transformer to obtain the image representations. To avoid the potential over-preservation and over-compression problems, we use information bottleneck. It comprises the text-irrelevant visual information while preserving the text-relevant visual information as much as possible. Formally, we define an IB-based objective function, balancing mutual information with alpha and beta as hyperparameters. Here, Z represents the minimal sufficient statistics of the source image concerning target summary, and alpha and beta controlling how much irrelevant information is compressed as well as preserving relevant information. Since the traditional IB cannot perform gradient backpropagation, we use variation encoding in DNN for implementation. The mutual information between Z and X subscript V measures the quantity of information. To compress the text irrelevant visual information, we memorize its upper bound by KL divergence with variational approximation. The mutual information between Z and Y shows how much Z knows about Y. To preserve important visual information, we maximize its lower bound using a discriminator. It measures the consistency between Z and Y. Z and Y represents positive samples from the pair of source image and target summary. Meanwhile, Z and Y tail refers to the negative samples. Negative samples could be constructed via the in-batch random negative sampling. However, it's difficult for the model to learn how to distinguish between the source sentence and the target summary. So we explore the hard negative sampling strategy, where the source sentence is used to contrast the negative sampling. To fuse the semantic of textual and visual modalities, we concatenate the source sentence and the learned visual information as the final input, and then generate the summary into an autoregressive manner. We adopt the negative log likelihood for supervision. The final objective function is NLL loss plus the IB loss. And here I will introduce the experiments. We conduct experiments on the representative MMS dataset. To validate the effectiveness of our proposed method, we choose 4 types of baselines for comparison. Text-only baseline performs MMS using textual modality, and vanilla baseline injects visual information without taking text-relevant and text-irrelevant into account. And compression baseline only focuses on the text-irrelevant visual information, while preservation baseline only preserves the text-irrelevant visual information. The main results shows that the proposed method T3 achieves the state-of-art performance on all metrics over all baseline methods. In addition, we observed that the later 2 types of baselines generally outperforms the vanilla baseline. It shows that compressing the text-irrelevant visual information and preserving the text-relevant visual information are both important for performance improvement. And T3 leads the baseline that take both information into consideration. And it highlights the importance of modeling these 2 aspects from a holistic perspective and to achieve a balance between them. Through the ablation study, we verified the effectiveness of each component in T3. Furthermore, we examined how alpha and beta affect the balance of visual information in the IB loss. It's clear that changing these values can impact performance, and it shows the importance of finding a good balance between compression of the text irrelevant and the preservation of the text-relevant visual information. To further explore the effectiveness of negative sampling strategy, we compare it with the in-batch random negative sampling. We found the hard negative sampling outperforms, and this is likely due to the use of the source sentence to construct negative samples. It may help to refine the crucial information required for generating summary. Besides, we compare T3 with VLP-based and MLM-based methods. First, VLP-based method leads MLM-based method by a large margin on all metrics. It shows that there is still a long way to go before MLM can be directly used for WMS. And second, VLP-based methods that values generation ability are more suitable for MMIs than those pay attention to understanding capability. And T3 outperform both. Yeah. In order to evaluate the generated summary by human preference, human evaluation is performed here. And there are 3 dimensions: consistency, fluency, and relevance. We compare T3 with the strongest baseline and 2 MLM-based method. We find that T3 outperforms the strongest baseline in all 3 dimensions. It once again confirms the effectiveness of balance, the trade-off within visual information. And besides, T3 outperforms 2 MLM-based method on consistency and relevance, but falls slightly behind in fluency. This happens for 2 main reasons. First, MLM benefits from extensive pre-training, which gives them strong natural language generation ability, especially in fluency. And second, MLM describes the image rather than sketch the source sentence. This leads to lower consistency and relevance compared to T3. Yeah. To sum up, this work takes the lead in considering the text-relevant and text-irrelevant visual information from a holistic perspective in MMIs. The proposed method, T3, which balances the trade-off between them under information bottleneck, tackles the issue of over-preservation and over-compression. Extensive experiments on the MMIs dataset confirm its rationality and effectiveness. Yeah. And that's all. Thank you for listening. And I'm sorry that I'm not the author and it's a policy presentation, so it's difficult for me to answer the questions. So if you have any questions or advice, please feel free to contact to the author via email. Yes, thank you.